joining us right now. Ann Coulter, author of In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus. Awesome. I missed the chapter in your book where Trump would somehow magically force Democrats to defend murderous terrorists from Iran, but that's what it looks like he's done here, Ann.
I think that's the only thing that can be said in favor of this. We've already spent trillions of dollars and thousands of American lives, and this is what we got for it. It's beginning to look like us intervening in the Middle East isn't making one American safer. It's making us poor. It's killing off our best Americans. This goes in the not our problem file. Yes, the Democrats and MSNBC are being insane. It's, what are they calling him? A peaceful cleric.
Yes.
Mourners who attacked the embassy. Yes. It's very fun to make fun of them, but please, no more wars in the Middle East that will just make things worse and cost us a lot of money.
Well,
when this is absolutely no problem for the United States of America. Why do we even have an embassy in Iraq? As I pointed out before, the purpose of embassies was back when it took 90 days to sail from England to America. We needed, Johnny on the spot to answer any questions, represent America. Now it's just boondoggles. We should only have embassies in places where you want to send your rich donors as a little thank you.
So the Seychelles and maybe Rome, but beyond that, yeah.
Why on earth would we have embassies in these godforsaken regions? Not our problem. We have a huge problem big problems in our country, but most particularly right on our southern border. Media will never, ever talk about that. There was a famous beheading video that was on Facebook, and it became famous. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago at least. And Zuckerberg, there was big, internal debate. Do we take it down? We got to take it down, but we're not censoring, so we take it down. And it was supposed to be scaring Americans over ISIS after, scaring us over this, that, the other thing over the past 30 years so that we'll get involved in another utterly pointless Middle East war. Turned out, no, of course, it was a video from Mexico. Suddenly no one cared. No, if it's within walking distance of the U.S. and they're engaging in barbarities and coming across our border, we can't be involved in that. No, let's go to countries 7,000 miles away that pose absolutely no threat to any American who is not there.
So let me ask you, is it possible, because the president has articulated this, he said he doesn't want to stay there, he wants to get out of there, he wants to move out. Can both happen? Can we get rid of this guy who is responsible for the murder and maiming of hundreds of American soldiers, whether we should have been there or not? He's responsible for killing them through the Quds forces and the IEDs. Yeah. Can we get him, have that be a good thing? And does that automatically mean that we're reinvesting in this region and this means we're going to be there for longer? Or can we get this guy and still get out?
Points. Of course, you're completely right. Yes, it was fine to get this general, and it is funny to see liberals weeping about it. At least Democratic politicians, I haven't watched a lot of the coverage of this, but at least Democratic politicians, they're smarter than journalists.
Yeah.
So they at least will begin by saying, oh, yes, he was a terrible guy, blah, 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 blah. I just get nervous whenever all of the media coverage is on Whither, Yemen.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, I'm not. I appreciate you telling me it's a good point, but I'm not necessarily making that point. I'm really asking the question. I mean, is President Trump now, in a weird way, in a better position, a more solid position, to say, listen, I stand behind no one in fighting our enemies and getting justice for the murders of American soldiers. And given that, I say it's time to get out of here. We've done plenty. Let's go.
Yes, and yes, I'm fine and thrilled with killing this general. So yes, if it ends here, totally agree. Great move. If we start escalating, I just saw a headline. I don't know the details. I think it was a Jeff Poor interview, but Alan Dershowitz saying that this is the headline. Donald Trump had more reason to kill this Iraqi general than for Obama to kill Osama bin Laden. And I'm sorry, I take issue with that.
Yeah, that might be overstating the case.
No, I take issue with that.
I might need to tweet the video of the Twin Towers going down, Alan Dershowitz, just
right,
to,
exactly.
he's missed a lot of vacations and parties in Martha's Vineyard, so maybe he's forgotten certain things.
That is true.
Listen,
that's true. And even that, I mean, even 9/11, as with everything else, it's going to be that, my entire interview can soon be a macro that you can just plug in. A problem of immigration. They were all immigrants. Why were they here? Why were we letting them in? Immigration solves everything. Or makes everything easier.
Yeah. Well, so now do you expect, just to pivot real fast, because I know that's your macro response. By the way, for the kids who don't remember what a macro is, it's, I'll get to that later. I'll do my Lotus 1, 2, 3 lessons a little later. But do you expect, as we pivot, and we're in 2020, Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year to 2020.
Happy New Year.
This is a presidential election. Do you expect the immigration issue, can it be, will President Trump be wise enough to make the immigration issue a major point of the 2020 election, or because he wasn't able to do what he promised he was going to do on a lot of those issues, will he sort of look beyond it? What do you think will happen?
Well, as the head of President Trump's reelection committee,
if only,
I'm going to start getting way testier with him. He can build 400 miles before the election. If he does that, there's nothing he can do that would more ensure his reelection, and there's nothing that's going to hurt his reelection more. One thing I've been pointing out to Republicans, and you will remember this, Larry. Wow, there was a lot of confidence when John McCain was running against Barack Hussein Obama, and Americans aren't going to vote for Barack Hussein Obama. And every night you turn on Fox News to see, Dick Morris among others, showing the map of a landslide for McCain. Republicans have a chronic problem with overconfidence. I know it's nice to have sweet nothings whispered in your ear and everybody's happier if the prediction is landslide. I think we're better off actually winning and not predicting that we're going to win for a year. Be pessimistic, assume the worst, and think of what he needs to do to win re-election. He only won by 80,000 votes across 4 states. In 2016. Democrats are not going to get caught sleeping this time.
Yep.
Google's not going to get caught sleeping. They're going to throw everything they have this election. Now, so far, their candidates don't seem particularly formidable, I will admit, but do not be lulled into a sense of warm, happy security. If you want to get this guy reelected, you got to press him to keep his immigration promise.
Yeah, and act like you're 10 states behind, not 10 states ahead. I'm with you, and I am loath to I hate that people brought on to make predictions. Why is it suddenly part of the pundits class job to tell you what's going to happen instead of analyzing what did happen? And God forbid you end up being right? It's just outrageous. And I don't want to be in one of those videos where I guarantee that this person will never win the presidency because those are pretty great.
No, but also this has always driven me crazy, V. What's going to happen? And I would say to hosts off air, you could bring the homeless guy in here to answer that question. I know stuff.
Right. Right.
Ask me about stuff that I know that the homeless guy doesn't know, the analysis part, as you say, not a jackass prediction.
That said, I would like to hang out with you in a couple of bottles of Chardonnay and have you read my tarot cards. That would be awesome. I bet you could bring it on that. But we'll save that for another time. Happy New Year, Ann. Can't wait to talk to you every Friday this year.
Happy New Year.
You bet. It's the Larry O'Connor Show.